Hey, Bob the Canadian here. How are you guys doing today? Thank you for coming to this English video lesson where we're going to talk about two funny letters in English, the letters G and H. Sometimes they make sounds, and sometimes they don't make sounds, and sometimes only one of the letters makes a sound. So I apologize again for the English language being so annoying to learn. Just testing my audio there. I apologize that the English language is kind of hard to learn, but we're going to look at a number of words today that use GH. Before we do, don't forget to click like, subscribe if you're new to this channel, if you're looking for English lessons, and don't forget to go and watch some of my other videos after this is done. But yeah, the crazy letters GH. Let's get started. I just want to say hi to everyone in the chat. Thanks for coming. I think this will be a fun one. I have some pictures as well. So if you look here, the first sound we're going to look at is when the GH makes the F sound. So the first word we have is rough. So rough, that's how you pronounce it. And rough is the opposite of smooth. So you can see the tree bark here is very rough. That's how we would describe tree bark, as being extremely rough. So smooth is when something is just like a wall is very smooth, but tree bark is very, very rough. I'll give you a closer look at that. And I tried to make the words rhyme. So this GH is an F sound, rough, and then I have tough. So tough is how you would describe, you can see this man. He's a pretty big looking guy. He looks pretty strong and he looks tough. So tough is when something is not weak. So it's the opposite. So we have rough, we have tough, and then we also have another word that rhymes, which is enough. Hello Salem, Mohammed, and Suratat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. I see you there in the chat. Welcome. So rough, tough, and enough. So enough is when you have a sufficient amount. So let's say you want to have a dozen eggs and you get a dozen eggs. You now have enough eggs. You have exactly the amount of eggs that you wanted. So that was GH making an F sound. So we have rough, tough, and enough. I'm just going to say hi in the chat to everybody. Thank you again for watching. Yeah, tough Bob the Canadian. Oh, that made me laugh. I don't consider myself tough, but yeah, thank you for the compliment. So we also have a slightly different sound. It's still an F sound, but this is cough. When you cough, it's like, so when you have a cold, you often cough. So you can see this gentleman in the picture is coughing. So that's another GH where it's making an F sound, to cough. And then this word isn't used as much anymore, usually on a farm. This is trough. You'll also hear it on a house. People have eaves trough. So that's the little trough that runs along the side of their roof. But you can see the GH sound here, trough. A trough is something that you have in a farmer's field where animals come to drink. So this would be a water trough. So slightly different sound. So cough and trough. Hi Kwan, hi Van Michael, hi Mina, hi Hui. I'm sorry again if I mispronounce your name. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have any questions, put them in the chat for later and I'll be happy to answer them. So that was cough and trough. And then we have the GH sound. It's a slightly different sound again. It's still an F sound, but this is laugh. So to laugh, ha ha ha, that's my attempt to laugh. So you can see this boy is laughing. So laugh is definitely an F sound using GH. So when you tell a joke, you hope that people will laugh. So laugh. And then keeping up with my rhyming, we have, that's not a GH. Bob the Canadian made a mistake. This is PH. So it does rhyme with laugh, but here we have a graph. Sorry, I guess I wasn't thinking straight last night when I made this presentation. So laugh, definitely a GH sound, and graph, an F sound, but with PH. Sorry about that. Okay, those are done. What's next? So sometimes the GH sound combines with other letters, and you'll recognize this one. This is the number 8. So 8, you can see that we have GH in there, and it's pronounced 8. It's pronounced the same way as the word to consume food, like he ate food, ate, but this is the number 8. And you can see the EIGH makes its own A sound, 8. We also have weight. So again, we have GH in this word. Weight, so this is a heavy weight. You can see again the EIGH makes an A sound, so weight. And this sounds the same as the verb to wait, which is WAIT. So weight and weight sound the same. So 8, weight. I have one last one here. This is freight. So freight is something that goes on a train. So this is a freight train. And you can see again, EIGH, freight, makes an A sound. So 8, weight, freight. I think that's all for this paper. And here we have a slightly different sound again. So we have thought. So a thought is something you have in your mind. Hello, everyone from India. What does quite mean? Oh, I'll answer that in a bit, yes. And no, this would be, Canadian English is closer, this is a question from Zoe, Canadian English is closer to American English. We spell some words the way the British do, but we sound more American. So anyways, thought. A thought is an idea that you have in your head. So we have the ought, thought sound, and then bought. There was a movie a long time ago called We Bought a Zoo. So this is actually the past participle of to buy. So 20 years ago, I bought a house, bought. So thought and bought. And then we have 2 GHs here. So sigh is when you go, so that's a sigh. So you can see how the GH and the I, so it's sigh. It makes a slightly different sound. And then we have high. So when you put something up high, so you have low and you have high. So when you put something up high, that's how you would pronounce that. Let's see here, how far along am I? Just want to check to make sure things are, oh yes, things are moving along nicely. So now we have the GH in the middle of a word again. So a slightly different sound, night, okay? So at night, which is the opposite of day. I hope you can see the picture. There's a moon and there's a small man down here and he's out at night. So again, the GH is not really pronounced. With the IGH, you get the night sound, so the I kind of sound. And then we have fright. So night and fright rhyme. So when you give someone a fright, it means that you scare them. So fright, night and fright. And then we have, so I have 2 words here where the GH comes at the end of the word. So we have weigh. So when you want to know the weight of something, remember we used that word earlier, when you want to know the weight, you need to weigh it. You need to put it on a scale. So we have E-I-G-H making an A sound, weigh. So I would weigh the potatoes. I would weigh them to see how much they weigh. And then we have, this is kind of a Christmas word, we have sleigh. So if you watched my last video about Christmas, you would have seen Santa in his sleigh at the end of the parade. But this is a sleigh being pulled by a horse. So weigh and sleigh rhyme with each other. Just a few more words and then we're done. So thorough, so we have an O sound at the end here. Thorough is to make sure you do something well. Like if I want to, let's say I'm building a house and I want to be thorough, it means that I make sure I build every part of the house perfectly. So thorough. And then though, so we use this word at the end of sentences sometimes when we're disagreeing with someone. You would say that, I don't think though that you should be speeding. So it's kind of a connector word, thorough and though. And I thought I had one more. My stack of papers is too big today. Oh, we have through. So GH at the end again, we have through. Yeah, wait and weigh are different words. I'll explain a bit more of that in a sec. So through is when you go in right down the middle of something. So if there's a crowd of people and you need to get to the other side, you would go through the crowd, which means you go right down the middle of the crowd. And then sometimes, rarely, GH comes at the beginning of the word. So ghost, G, so it makes the G sound, so ghost. Well, that's it. That's all the words I have. I hope that I was thorough in my presentation to you today. I'm just going to take some time to look at the chat now to see if there's any questions. Please put questions in there and I'd be happy to answer them. The first question that I see, what does quite mean? So a lot of times I'll say it's quite large, or there were quite a bit of people. So if you say it was quite large, it means it was very big. If you say there were quite a bit of people, or there were quite a lot of people, it means there were a lot of people. I'm not sure why we actually use the word. It's kind of a filler word. I was quite rushed this morning. So that would mean that I was in a hurry. So it kind of emphasizes what you're talking about. That was a good question. Thank you. Hello, Surjit from India. And good morning. Good morning, Van Michael. Is it anyways or anyway? That's a good question too. So a lot of times I start my sentences by saying, anyways, let's get this done, or anyways, let's get started. But you can also use anyway. So that's a tricky one. I think you can almost use them interchangeably. He went to the party anyway. He went to the party anyways. You can probably use both and get away with it. The difference between weigh and weight. So when you weigh something, that's when you are trying to figure out how much it weighs. So the act of putting something on a scale is weighing. It's to weigh. But you also want to find out how much it weighs. So I hope I'm not getting too confusing here. Weight would be the actual number. So my weight is 195 pounds. So that's my weight. When I weigh myself to see how much I weigh, the scale says my weight is 195 pounds. So use that as an example. Hopefully that helps a lot. Which one is the better accent, Britain or American? The British accent is very cool to listen to. I really like it. I think it is a more formal language or accent. What I must say though is that when you talk about American accents, there's actually a number of different American accents. There's a Southern accent, a West Coast accent, a Northeast Coast accent. So it's a little tricky there. And even in Britain, I know there's a number of different accents. So which one is better? I'm not sure. That's a tough one. I think the Canadian accent is best. That's my official opinion here. There's actually a number. I think I'm going to wrap this up. If there's any more questions, you can put them in the chat. If there's any more questions, put them in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are not subscribed to this channel. And leave a comment below, not just in the chat. Leave some questions in the comments. I love the comment section because it gives me ideas for future videos. A lot of times people will say, can you make a video about? And they'll give me a topic. So if you have an idea, if there's something you want to learn, let me know, and then in the future I can look forward to making a video about that. But right now, I'm super excited. There's 35 people watching. That's more people than have ever watched before. So it's really fun. I'll see you new video on Tuesday, and I'll see you next week, Friday, for another live stream. So thanks a lot for watching. Bob the Canadian here. Learn English with Bob the Canadian. Give me a thumbs up. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. And I'll just keep talking a little bit while I shut down my live stream. You get to get a little bit extra at the end.